when you sit and think about it, like there are so many kids, including mine, who we only had cable when I worked at a communication company, and I basically got it for like nothing. Other than that, we've only ever had like subscription services or like Apple TV or Alexa Fire Stick or stuff like that. Like we haven't had anything like that. So here's a TikTok that I found, and it reminds me of that like iPhone phone thing that everybody was talking about.
Keisha, I feel old today. My son was looking at my remote and he said, "Why does your remote have numbers on it?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "It has numbers. Why?" I said, "Don't all remotes have numbers?" He said, "No. He's only ever seen these."
And she shows like the what is it? What do you have?
Roku.
The Roku remote is what she shows. And like most of those just have like that. Sorry, my entire thing is those Hamilton things. God, makes me laugh.
But I also have those people that are like, oh my God, I want a kitchen TV.
I know there's the people with the kitchen TV. There's also like there's all these like things popping up. But the funny thing is like I love thinking of the perspective of like what we laughed at our parents for being like, you old farts. Like, I can't believe you had like, I know my kid will never likely see like a home phone or anything.
Which, I'm sorry, I was talking to Mom about this. We were discussing.
That tin can phone guy in Seattle. It's called, it's so that and like.
No, I was, we were talking about it randomly. We were at a thrift store. And she was talking to our aunt and stuff. And I was like, man, I miss when I was a kid and like the landline would ring.
Yeah.
And I would answer it and be like, hey, it's Auntie. Like, yeah. How's it going? And stuff like that. And you have like that 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
And now it's like you just call the person on their phone, but you don't get the like fun like, hi Auntie, how's your day?
Or like when you're feeling nosy and you want to pick up the other end of the phone in a different room.
See, I never had that because we never had really like two phones.
Oh yeah, we never had multiple phones.
Well, we had multiple, but we would usually just lose one. But
we're just like hanging out because your mom was like sanctioned to like the kitchen area. And I remember it was always like if mom had to talk about something serious, we had this like 24-foot coil code on the phone that was like on the wall, which I thought was like a fancy one because we had like the buttons. Mm-hmm. So you could pick like Nana and Grandpa and like and press the button and then it would call them directly. Like an office phone almost, but she would be like, okay, I'll just go into another room and then like go all the way down the hall and like close the door and have like the cord underneath the door. It was so funny. Like, I just feel like that type of nostalgia. I know sometimes they bring stuff back and people are like, technology's going backwards or whatever, but seeing those kind of like things or having that perspective of like, when the person goes, oh, like, okay, pretend to answer a phone call. And kids used to do like almost like the banana phone, like bigger.
Kids still do that.
There's some kids who do it. There's other kids who just put their hand up to their ear because they've only ever seen people use smartphones.
Which it makes me kind of sad because I feel like I can't call your kid and just chat with her. The only time
doesn't have an iPad, but I feel like so many people have things like,
I don't want to FaceTime your child. I love her. Sometimes she whips it around really fast and I get really nauseous.
Also, like, when does like my kid is not, she'll have days where she's like on her iPad and then she'll have like where she's like doing tons of stuff on it or whatever, and then she'll have other days like or weeks where she doesn't even remember that it exists. Like this morning she's like, maybe I should take my iPad today if like you and Auntie are gonna like record. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she goes, do you know where my iPad is? And it's not like she's irresponsible. It's like, it's probably going to be on a table in the front room or something like that. But she was so tired this morning. And I was like, no, I didn't even think to grab it. She's like, oh, that's fine.
Well, the only time I really do is like if she has like your guys' phone at the store.
Yeah.
And then she'll answer it and I'm like, hi, babes. I need to talk to your family.
I know. And then she's always like, oh, hey. When she picks up the phone, like all excited.
That was like the regular thing when you had a landline. Is it was like, oh, can you go get the phone? Because like mom would be like cooking dinner. Oh, can you go grab that? And you'd be like, hi. Enter last name, residence here.
I know. I feel like the thing now is like just so many people like text instead of actually being on the phone.
I hate texting. I hate that I can't read people's emotions. And also, I text. I am the worst speller. You asked anybody that I know. I have autocorrect, and I'm still horrendous. And I will message, and sometimes I'll text, and it'll autocorrect, and I'll be like, okay, the amount of times that I just try, it doesn't work.
Okay, Ben had the best autocorrect in the entire world. And he got sent to me and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I get this message. He's like, oh, our neighbors are at like the swimming pool place that he took our kid to on Friday. And he goes, they keep walking up the stairs all the way to the topless lads, holding hands, pretty cute. He's like, I'm using voice to text on my watch. I'm so sorry. It's not reading all my words properly. I'm like, well, this just made my day. But it's like you get like random ones like that. I don't know. I feel like some of those are funny. I know what you're talking about though. Like when you send somebody a bunch of stuff and they're like, okay.
I'm trying not to.
That's not nice. It's not you. Like I was saying things like, our brother got up. I just made his shake just to give her updates because he was downstairs. Or like, oh, my kid just fell asleep. I'll just like, wait a moment. Okay, type of thing. Or I like, so you know that I'm still paying attention to come downstairs.
But I also feel like it would be so much fun because like you could walk around with it. Also, what is with it that landlines didn't heat up, but if I have my phone too close to my face for too long, it is like having the son of Satan on my face.
I know, even if it's not even up to your face, even if you're just using headphones or whatever, and you have your phone down, your phone will like be warm because you're using it. And that's the whole thing that like weirds me out also. I was one of those people who was affected by that Nokia flip phone back in like 2006, where I literally got a phone call from my cell phone provider being like, hi, we need you to send your phone back because like those phones are blowing up. Like, have you found that it's got really hot? And I was like, well, yeah, it gets warm. And I thought it was like a prank call.
Yeah.
And then they were like, so you need to go to like a Rogers thing. And then I went to Rogers and there was like 60 people in line because it was like the free phone that you got. I didn't really care.
But also like they would call like our sister had a Samsung.
Yeah.
And it like almost burned into her face.
I know. I mean, we don't know the full details about like if it's under a pillow, and that was a long time ago and stuff like that. So you don't know a lot of
I'm not saying that all Samsungs go bad.
I was saying like no, I'm also saying that like my iPhone gets super fucking hot.
Like all phones do.
Yeah.
You hold any phone up to your face versus like
your iPad. Maybe it's because the fans are bigger. Because they've taken out a lot of things to make the chips bigger. But then also, like, any form of, like, cooling system that's, like, within your phone, they're most likely shrinking that and just making it, like, what it has to be.
But still, like, it gets so hot.
I know, it gets disturbingly warm. I remember it used to be, like, a big thing where you could get, like, a teen line, they would call it, or your parents could, like, add whatever, and you could have your own phone number, and it was, like, so badass. And you could get whatever phone you wanted. Like, the big thing was, like, the clear phones where you could see all the doohickeys in them. I always wanted DJ's phone from Full House, the lips.
I wanted the burger.
Oh, our one sister had the burger. She had the burger phone.
Yeah.
For her, like, because if you, a lot of times you didn't have to subscribe to a phone number, but if you had like a call-in service or whatever for like an apartment, you'd have to plug into the one outlet and have like a standard phone.
Do you remember when she had a doorbell? The frog?
Oh,
the glittery frog?
That was the whole thing, is like you'd have doorbells, or like that was a huge Scholastic book fair thing usually, like doorbells, or like the thing that would be like, you are now entering the room, and you could like record some message like, get out or whatever.
I would also like to state to the Scholastic book fair, when I turned 16, which was the time period that you could enter the Scholastic book fair warehouse, that was the year you stopped doing Scholastic book fair warehouses.
Oh, in our area, yeah.
I have never been so deeply offended in my entire life. I waited 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
To be able, because they would go.
You would be like, here's my list. And Mom and I would like run around looking at the Scholastic warehouse.
90% of the time it was books.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't the type of kid that was like, oh, give me a poster. Give me a poster. Or the cat said, hang in there. Or like, I was like, can you get me the Wings of Fire series? Because the new book's supposed to be in there.
Oh, yeah.
And this one and this one. Okay, that'd be great because they're on sale. This would be great. I'm so happy.
Was that fairy one that you used to read? With like all the fairies and they were all different colors when you were little.
That was our sister. I read the Pixie Hollow ones.
Oh, I thought you read them too.
No, I didn't read the Rainbow Fairy.
Oh shit, sorry.
I didn't like like. I was obsessed with the Pixie Hollow ones. I thought they were the prettiest ones on the face of the planet.
Oh yeah.
They are still so pretty. Some people are still collecting them.
There's always people who are collecting them. Oh, sorry.
Am I that boring?
No. My brain just went, and it's time to yawn really loud.
And on that note, what is freaking out? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And we are Burnt Out Perfectionist.
'Tis we are.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I think this will be Labor Day.
Oh, I forgot about Labor Day.
Yeah, it's next Monday.
I always call it the weekend before school starts.
Okay, also, weird thing before we get more into this episode. People are like, don't wear white after Labor Day.
Oh, that's not a thing.
Okay, well, people would say it. And I was always like, does it reset at the end of the year? Or did somebody just decide not to wear white after
It totally resets. Like, when people used to believe that, it would totally reset for, like, because people used to wear white all the time to, like, New Year's Eve parties.
That's what I was really confused by. Because they were like, don't wear white after Labor Day. And I was always like, this was like in movies. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Does that reset? Or are we just destined to never wear white after Labor Day?
I know, I'm just like, what was that? The idea not to wear whatever. It's perfectly acceptable even year-round. Duh. The rule originated in the 19th century, but no longer relevant in modern fashion. Rules is a myth with roots in class distinctions from the late 1800s. Oh, it's always about shit like that.
On this week's episode, we thought we would talk about, it's kind of a trend. I feel like getting more into fall. I've seen it a lot more.
Yeah, like how people are like, my cozy TV setup in my kitchen. I'm like, do you just only go in your kitchen in the fall? Like, I'm so confused.
But it's the difference between physical media and things like subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically like the one setup device versus like everything in one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have cable service. I don't have a home phone. I do have security. I have internet, and I have like Apple TV and Fire. I have one Fire Stick in my house. It's in my free TV that I got from my friend when she upgraded her television.
I have cable. I have internet. I think I have Disney Plus, mainly for Dancing with the Stars. New season coming out next month. I'm so excited. Netflix is included in cable. I have a couple Rokus.
I have like Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. Oh, Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime.
I'd also like to giggle. I never ask Sarah for the passwords to the subscription.
Just log in.
No, it's always like we're discussing a show and she's like, oh, I really want to watch this at your house. Or like, you should really watch this. And then just sends me the username and password. And I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Friggin' have Disney Plus, Netflix. But, like, I got really over, especially, like, I think it was, like, a year ago. I was really over, like, the fatigue part of, like, paying. That, like, everybody was, like, upping theirs to, like, $20 a month or more. Yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck. And they all came out with the one with ads.
Yeah.
Which I know is, like, people are, like, it's, like, going back in time. I'm like, I'll give Disney $7.99 a month, which it just went up to $8.99 a month. But, like, I don't really care if I have ads. And, like, every single time my husband was like, oh, my God. And I'm like, who cares? I watch YouTube, and I don't have a premium subscription. You still get ads on there.
You know what I think the worst one is out of all the subscriptions for ads?
What?
What do you think what I'm going to say?
Amazon Prime?
Yes. Why is there 4 at the beginning? And it always gives you this fake out that it's 45 seconds. It is not 45 seconds. I have timed it. It was 3 minutes.
Amazon Prime, like, specifically, so I don't know if it's different in other countries, but in Canada, you got Amazon Prime. There was, like, no commercials ever at the beginning, and you would have this, like, bank of stuff that you could watch. And then they changed it where you have to pay more than what you pay for your Amazon subscription annually.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay, like, this additional amount, which is, like, something like $20. Like, it's something high again. And then you don't get ads, and you get some, like, exclusive scene for some things or whatever. But the other thing that drives me nuts is they, like, change their formatting. So even if you search something, it'll be like, oh, do you want to rent this? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? this Amazon Prime will be like, oh, we have all these other apps integrated. You need to subscribe to blank to get blank.
Yeah, you can Google. I wanted to watch Journey to Bethlehem because the delightful soundtrack was on my TikTok, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. And my mom and I were like, oh, we'll watch it. So I looked it up, and it was like, okay, the only place you could find it is on Prime. I was like, okay, $4.99. You know what? Whatever. I remember when it used to be, I think it was Shaw. You could not PVR it, but Shaw on demand, and then you would have it for a month, and you could watch it as many times as you wanted.
Oh, yeah, when you rented a movie?
Yeah.
You'd have it for 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't finish it,
14 or 30 days, one of the two.
I remember being a significant amount of time that I could watch it multiple times.
I think it dropped back. I think it was a month, and then it went to 14 days, and then at one point it dropped down to 48 hours.
My biggest irk in this world is when there's 2 seasons on one streaming service, 1 season on the other.
The Rookie. That's exactly what happened to me.
Is that what's going on?
So on Netflix, they had seasons 1 through 5, and I was like, oh, but I want to keep watching it, and I wanted to watch 6 and 7, and 6 and 7 was on Crave. Yeah, 6 and 7 was on Crave. So Crave had, and they were shorter seasons because of the actor strike and because of, I don't know, probably still COVID or something. There was other stuff that went on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that some of them didn't have as many episodes. So it gave me 4 days for free or something. So I signed up for it through Amazon Prime. And, we watched the seasons and stuff like that because it was right before a weekend. I was like, whatever, I want to know what the fuck is going on. One of the seasons is 8 or 10 episodes or something. And I had to do that in order to get it. And then it was so funny because my husband burst out laughing. Yesterday, Netflix put on there, get stoked. We have 6 and 7 or season 6 coming out of The Rookie on Netflix Canada. And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, I wouldn't have wanted to wait.
But I understand it's tolerance of waiting each week. I don't mind waiting a week. I was
watching an old show though. That's what blew my mind. As I was watching a show that had been on for years.
The Summer I Turned Pretty, I wait weekly.
See, that's fine. I understand because it's a high production, high demand show.
Mm-hmm.
And with stuff like that, and they set that expectation. Wasn't it the last couple episodes or whatever? Aren't they daily?
No.
Oh, there was a girl who showed it. It could have been in the States. There was a girl who showed it. And instead of it was weekly, and then the last 3 episodes were one after another. Every single day they were being released.
I don't think it is. Although what irks me too about it is now with the amount of social media, I have to stay up Tuesday night until midnight to watch it. Because if I touch any form of social media, it's hey, did you know what this happened and this happened and this happened? I won't spoil anything because you can watch it and enjoy it yourself.
Yeah.
Or read the books. But I'm oh, okay, great. And then they show the main scene of the entire show. I'm people are well, why don't you just scroll by? I'm oh.
Sometimes you're oh, did I watch this? Is someone, you have a fan theory or something?
Yeah. And then the entire plot's ruined and you're oh.
Yeah. I think one thing that's nice about it is it's not you have to go somewhere and rent it. You don't have to call in online and stuff like that to subscribe to things. But there's still issues. When I did that subscription to Crave, it was supposed to be so many days for free.
Mm-hmm.
And they billed me as soon as I signed up for it. And then they tried to bill me again for a full month. Literally after the 4 days. And I had to message in. You message into Amazon Prime and you're asking them oh, hey. And they're okay, we'll cancel it or whatever. And there's different things. But it's just it's so frustrating. It's I really wanted to watch Practical Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't anywhere. I never had it on DVD. So that's the whole thing is I didn't own a ton of DVDs for some of the movies that I wanted because maybe they hadn't come out on DVD or they were only on VHS. So I was you can find stuff like that. I went on and it was on Stars with a Z, not Stars. It's associated with Disney in Canada. And I had to get it thank God. It's like $6.99 a month, but they literally gave me like a month for free. And then when I went to cancel, they're like, we'll give you 3 more months for free. And then when I went to cancel, they're like, we'll give you so many months at $3.99. I was like, sure, because it had a lot of those movies that I like grew up watching that are hard to find. So I was like, oh, this is great. And then it was so funny because as I was ending my freaking membership with Stars, I was like, oh, I feel like I've seen all this stuff or whatever. It was like leaving Practical Magic. And I was like, that is the only reason why I fucking turned this thing on to watch it, because they're making the second one. And the second one was purchased by, it is Warner Brothers, but I guess Warner Brothers has their own streaming service. Like, that's what annoys me is like, we're in Canada and everybody has gone to streaming services and there's stuff that we literally cannot get. Like, we do not get Peacock TV.
We couldn't get One Tree Hill.
Oh, for like
forever.
Ever.
Still can't get Heart of Dixie.
You know what showed up on my freaking my feed?
OC?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? The OC. I bought the seasons of that show because we didn't have cable at all when that show was going out. So I remember like buying them and watching them. But I was like, oh, the OC. Weird. Like, I remember thinking that subscription services were great because of like shows maybe that I didn't get to watch. And then you could watch them. And for the longest time, we only had Netflix in Canada. There was literally nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like people are getting these like jail box broken TV box things, or they're getting all these other things. And I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, and then you get it for free, but then you have to do this. And if you update your, like, there's just like so many steps now.
Or like VPNs, you can go into a different Netflix in a different country. And then, which I just want to be able to watch my shows. Like, I have holiday shows and like seasonal shows that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
8 Crazy Nights is my favorite holiday movie. I think it's the best holiday movie. Do not watch it with your children. I think it's great. Every single year, I have to look on every layer of the wind to try to find it. I now own the DVD because I found it, but I was like, I watch it every single year. Same with Elf, same with everything else. Every single year, it's like, do you want to pay $29.99 to watch the movie once?
Oh, one time I literally paid to own Elf on iTunes.
I know.
I paid to own Elf, and then I went to go watch it. Not last year, but the year before. And it was like, oh, you have to pay to watch it. And I was like, no, I did not rent it. I purchased this movie. And it was something to do with the fact that they're like slowly phasing out iTunes and merging everything into Apple TV. And I was like, I bought this fucking movie, so I didn't have to deal with this. Because I watched that. That's my favorite Christmas movie.
It's great. And now it's like you have to like line them up. Yeah, if I'm watching Hallmark movies on cable, I don't want to own them on DVD. If I miss one, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But you know those specific movies, like sometimes I like to watch Halloween Town.
Yeah.
Watch Halloween Town, and then I'm like, well, I want to watch the second Halloween Town, and then I have to go 45 minutes around trying to find it.
I know that's the whole thing, is like stuff like that drives me absolutely bonkers. Like when it's like, this is what's going to be leaving. And I'm like, ugh. Or like how the algorithms work. Like my algorithm does not know me. I've tried everything too. I've tried just like going in and liking a bunch of stuff that I know that I like that they have on there. I've tried deleting my profile and recreating it, because sometimes people will be like, oh my God, this show's so great. And I've literally never heard of it and it's never seen anything. Like, I feel like I want it to be able to, in a way, have it where I can just have all the apps on there and actually have the thing search it. Like, I've tried being like, Apple TV, like you ask Siri, and she goes, oh, that movie's on this or whatever. And it'll be like open and playing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to like individually go through each thing to search for it, which if I was to have the DVDs up on our shelf, like when I was a kid or whatever, you'd walk over, you'd read through them and pick it up and then take it and go watch the movie. Like when you're sitting there scrolling through Netflix to try to find something, it's like, sounds dumb, but it's like exhausting. I explained this to like Eve, and like our mom was there, because it's a perspective that I don't know a lot of people have. Like when you had to pay for minutes to be on the internet, do you used to like write down on like a notepad? You would be like, oh, why are you the fuck are you?
My maggots are over to
Oh, nice. You would be like, okay, I want to look up blank. I want to look up blank. I want to watch blank. And you'd have like a list. Because if you went to log on and you were like, I forgot what I wanted to look up, like,
Yeah.
it would take up time, right? So now when I go on the internet, sometimes I just feel lost. Like, I mean, I've tried like writing stuff down or whatever, but sometimes you go to do something. It's like when you walk into a room and you forget what you're doing.
Yes. And it is like, I love to, like I've said before, I like to rewatch things. There's certain things that spark memories and spark joy that I like to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of the new movies that come out don't suit my interest. And I was talking to somebody on the weekend and they were like, "Oh, I just went to go see the new Fantastic Four movie." And I'm like, "Man, I haven't been to a movie in a long time."
When was the last time? Was it Wicked?
It was Wicked.
Well, wait, Deadpool and Wolverine or Wicked?
It was Wicked because we saw Deadpool and Wolverine the week before out of spite.
Oh, yes.
Was Wicked, and I love movie popcorn is my favorite food.
Yeah.
I love it so much. But I'm like, oh, I haven't been to a movie in a while.
I know, honestly, going to movies and stuff like that, I usually end up going to like family or like kids movies.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I have a kid, because like, you know that they're actually going to make good.
Well, it's also, if it's a terrible storyline, at least it's still bright and colorful.
Right? And then there's other ones where I'm like, I'll just wait for it to come out.
Like, I'm sorry, those wartime timepieces, good on you.
Mm-hmm.
I will happily watch that when it is bright outside.
Oh,
because I will nap.
It's like Oppenheimer. Like, I had no desire to watch that movie.
I thought, oh, that might be cool.
Yeah.
I think I started it and fell asleep. I need action. I need more. But
Yeah.
I also feel like
I have never been disappointed more than that Jurassic Park movie. I'm so glad I didn't go see it in the theater. It was so bad.
I didn't see it.
Like, and I know I'm not looking for like some epic movie. Also, I generally dislike anything that is nominated for an Oscar just because they're usually boring and they're not my jam. And when it came to that movie, I was like, I feel like they copy and pasted this. Like, there's a whole storyline going on that is not lining up with anything else. And it was just like bothering me. Like, it almost felt like it could have been a TV show. And then they added in scenes with like really famous actors in it. It was weird.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard like great things about it.
People were like, oh my God, it's so great, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I'll go see it as Jurassic Park. I'm not the biggest fan of Scarlett Johansson, to be totally honest, but I was like, whatever, it's a Jurassic Park movie.
I would say generally, I am more of a physical media person. I feel like you're more of like a online.
I am, to the extent of like, I'll have like a vlog or a podcast video or whatever on and stuff like that. And I only have the option of online.
That's what I mean. Is like, I'm very like notebooks, CDs,
Yeah.
vinyls.
If I had more room, I would probably change. But I feel like there's so much, like, because there's three, I'm like, I know you have three people, but like tiny humans come with lots of things. So do big humans who have lots of hobbies and all the other stuff. And it's like reducing down on things or even just places to put things and stuff like that, because there's not a ton of like storage solutions that you can put stuff in, but it just feels like you're like drowning in shit.
I feel like there's a way to like, I have like the CD binder and like they all fit compactly. I wouldn't have like that large scale, like all the CDs in the CD.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's too much.
I think a big thing for me is just like, and I've talked to Eve about this for like probably like a year or two or whatever, is like, I loved when everything wasn't on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, I loved, when I was a kid and I'd be like vacuuming the house, putting my Walkman on and listening to the Little Mermaid soundtrack usually.
But you had to listen to the whole soundtrack.
Yeah. Like, there was like, you could fast forward if you wanted to and stuff like that. But it was just like, you would just listen to it and there was no dings, no nothing. Like, no matter what you turn off, there's always something that gets through. And then the panicked feeling of always like worrying. Well, I mean, we've had a lot of random shit happen in our lives, but like always wanting to make sure that I have like my phone accessible.
I think it's also like then you have to constantly be aware of things because it's not just like the dings, the notifications. It's also like bills coming through. And then it's like, hey, did you remember to pay for this? Oh, this payment method didn't go through. Like, when you have physical media, the transaction's done.
And that's the whole thing, right? One of the only things that I remember, like, other than like storage and like clutter and stuff like that, is sometimes you would get things and they would just like stop working or skip.
Which subscriptions still do that, and I am still lost.
Okay, no, I have a serious question. Why the fuck does digital music skip? Even when I drive the same way, and it'll drop off at different times out of nowhere, or it'll be like whatever, and it's not an edit, and it's multiple music platforms. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I like the idea of music being more accessible for like artists, like those like TikTok artists where they can upload their own things.
Yeah.
Instead of having like CDs. But like, man, my favorite place to go was HMV and just like walk around and like look at CDs and listen to them. And before you bought them and everything, like, it's like, oh, I'll see somebody and be like, oh my goodness, I really want to listen to them. And you add it to like your Apple Music or your Spotify or whatever, and you can follow them to find out when it comes out. They only recently started doing this, like when you open it up and it's like, this person's new song came out. But
yeah,
it was different, like the anticipation of waiting for it. Like, I will always remember, I think I was like 14. Like, I did this multiple times, but I always remember when the Backstreet Boys hadn't had a CD or album had come out for like a super long time. And I was listening to Z95.3 FM in Vancouver. And it was like, okay, like, keep listening because we're going to have the new Backstreet Boys song coming up. And they'd be playing all these other songs. And they're like, oh, and here it is. And you'd like hit the record on like your cassette or whatever on your stereo or listening. And you were hearing, I heard Shape of Your Heart for the very first time. And I was like, oh my God, this song's so great. And like, you'd either record it off the radio or listen to it and then be like, oh my goodness. And then they'd be like, the album's coming out, whatever. And they would release one song and then the album would come out.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like, you could do pre-orders, but sometimes pre-orders, like if you weren't in a large area, weren't that common. And you would be like, oh, I want to go. Or you'd put it on your like birthday list. Like, I want this CD.
Yeah, and the other than like music and stuff like that, the number one thing that I find really sad is photos.
Yeah.
So like, I've seen somebody, oh my God, I dropped my phone and my phone broke, and now every picture of my child since a baby is gone. And I'm like, ma'am, print them out.
Yeah, you can print them out, or even just like, I got so annoyed because Costco, at least in Canada, changed to Shutterfly.
Yeah.
Which I've always had like issues. Also, their pricing and stuff like that is like extremely high, but it was so affordable to do the Costco one. London Drugs actually charges way less than like actually Costco used to, but you can like print them off. And I was really good at that for a while. And then I need to like eventually do a couple of them again. Like, I have them set up, but it's just kind of waiting because sometimes you're like, oh, is there going to be a promotion?
Well, yeah, the promotion, but it used to be like, I remember going to Costco, it was like 10 cents for a 4x7, 4x6, 4x7. And you would get like a bunch of them, and then you would like have like the box, or when our aunt used to come up and be like, here's your envelope.
Oh yeah, here's your envelope of the pictures and stuff like that. I know there's so many things that are like just like for granted now.
Well, it used to be like if somebody was like, oh, what does your siblings look like? You know what picture I have to pull up as the only one of us together?
Oh, that one from the barbecue thing for Dad.
Oh, no, I don't have that one.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the sibling photos we did like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I like those ones.
When I had bangs and short hair, and I was like, this is what they kind of look like now?
They're just old now. But it's like, also take that guy out right there because he's not in there.
Or I'm like, let me go on their like social media and let me scroll and try to find one, and it's never like, oh, like here's a photo of my wallet. This is what my family looks like.
Yeah,
it's like,
let me scroll. My husband and I were talking about like DVDs and like Blu-rays and stuff like that. And the number one thing that he misses is like the special features or like the behind the scenes. Yeah, like all that stuff, like all those extra little things or like the Easter eggs that they'd have in the menus and stuff like that. And it was so funny because there was some movie that was coming out and her daughter was really excited about it. And I think it could have been like Elio. maybe, and or Elio, however people want to pronounce it. And they have like this sneak peek that they put on like Disney Plus, and they showed like the behind the scenes stuff. And she's like, "Oh, I just love seeing these things and whatever." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, these things are great. Like they used to do them for movies all the time." And she's like, "What? Like what about these other movies?" I'm like, "Oh, they don't have them because they used to do them for like VHS, like after the credits, or they would show them for even just like other things, or they would have the music videos built in."
Oh my God, the Chicken Little one.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's the only one that immediately comes.
Oh, I think of isn't it? It's like one of the "Fly to Where You Are," like that Selena Gomez song from it's a
Tinkerbell.
Yeah. But they would have like the music videos, and they would either show them like during the credits, or it would be like you could click on it after.
Or it was during the Disney commercial breaks.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing, is like there was all that other show. I understand it was because like Disney was just like trying to literally make people like these like quadruple talents where they get all the money streams.
But it was so great because those were the type of ads that I love.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it'd be like Family Channel or Disney Channel or whatever. It was Family Channel for us.
Canada.
And it would be like, say you're watching like Phineas and Ferb, channel 32 back in the day. And it was like, you finishes and you're like, okay, Ferb. And then it would just like be like, and now a secret look into Pixie Hollow, Tinkerbell's Pixie Hollow. And then it would have Selena Gomez. And I was like, oh my God. And it's like coming out this day. Because then I was like, I was committed. I was ready.
You're putting it on your calendar. Like you're just so excited. And I think that's the whole thing, is like now obviously there's like TikToks and other forms of social media where they promote things. But sometimes there's things where I'm like, was that even promoted? Like out of nowhere it like comes out. Or the thing that's irking me right now is every single time I go see a kids movie now, the trailers are for literally the next year or a year and a half in the future. I'm like, please don't show children that. So like
No, it's not show children that.
I went and saw a movie in June.
Mm-hmm.
They were advertising a movie for June 2026. If there's no parents involved in that marketing, and why do I know this? Because like if you have a kid, it's like, oh my God, you know about that movie, like the fucking Spider-Verse movie. They
keep delaying.
They did a great like typical, okay, let's do this like end of the year series movie trilogy, like blackout scene, like very old school, so great. Okay, it's delayed. Screen Actors Guild. Okay, it's delayed. Now it's 2027. Expected. Yeah. So it's not even guaranteed. And I'm not just saying that, it's like they'll constantly do this. Like I feel like there's so many more delays. I feel like everybody's got a fucking excuse. But also,
then don't tell me about it until it's done.
Exactly. Like I don't think you should be having to constantly tell people about all of this stuff. Like, why don't you leave things up to like, Austin is like a couple months out. Like the movie theaters are a dying breed. Like Cineplex, unfortunately, is like going tits up quite quickly. Landmark has been going down for like a long time. And they're trying to get people to do subscriptions there too. And they're trying to get all this other stuff in there. And it's just like, okay, guys, well, like, come on. Like, I love a comfy theater moment, though. Like, I like sitting in the recliners.
Oh, with the popcorn and the straw.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much. What I realized, too, is that not a lot of movies, like rom-coms and stuff like that, have soundtracks that are just, like, regular songs.
Man, soundtracks used to be so good. Like, you would be like, I love the soundtrack. What was the Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen soundtrack? Loved it. Lizzie McGuire soundtrack.
Well, like, even more recent one, like, To All the Boys I Loved Before. I hate that
woman, whoever, I'm pretty sure most of it was her.
Jenny Han.
Yeah, Jenny Han.
That woman is magical. She is like the rom-com Stanley. She makes her own cameos.
John Hughes. She's like the female version of John Hughes. Her movies are good. They're to the point. There's not a lot of lag, but they're like cute development type things. Like it's giving like 16 Candles and fucking Breakfast Club, like all that other stuff. Like it's when people used to like vie. The only time I've seen people really vying to be on a soundtrack was that F1 movie that came out, but I think that's because the first movie that was ever made by Apple that was going to be in the theaters.
See, there's like, I think that song, like, I think it's John Bellion that sings it. That's okay. And like, not To All the Boys I Loved Before, The Summer I Turned Pretty, like Taylor Swift is sprinkled throughout it.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that, like, that fits with it, but, like, there's just something about, like, there's the cute musical ones, like Disney's musicals and stuff, that you have, like, the cute songs, and you're like, oh, this is so cute, romantic moment.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing was better than, like, you hear, like, Enchanted, Carrie Underwood's Ever After.
Oh, I love that song.
And, like, it was always so hard to find, and it was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. This is so great. It was, like, part of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like them singing it.
And yeah, I know. I think that's like, it was like made for it type of thing.
Yeah, and it was so pretty. Like, there was always, like, famous artists that were, like, doing sneak peeks, like Selena Gomez. I think Mae Whitman did one, because she was the voice of Tinkerbell. Do you know who Mae Whitman is?
I know exactly who she is. She was like in Parenthood and all that other stuff. I point her out every single time I go, Charlie, do you know who that is? So I'm like, that's the voice of Tinkerbell.
And so, like, every time you would have, like, those one or two, it probably is really expensive, but I'm so tired of, like, I want to be involved, and, like, when I hear a song, I want to be like, I'm like, To All the Boys Loved Before.
Yeah. And that's like immediately going, oh my God, that song's from blank. Like that type of thing. Or even just, it goes one of two ways with me. It's like people are like, oh my God, and you hear this song on social media like a million times, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that song. And it's like, oh, the song's finally released. I'm like, it's been a year and a half.
Okay, Chloe Rose, I think her name is, fictional. 2.5 years I waited for that song.
Which I'm just like, I understand that it takes a while, but like, holy fuck, like people are like, oh yeah, well they have to get all these things and all these streams, and all these subscribers and all these views and all the other stuff. And really, you can't just go on the fact that the person's good and talented.
As someone who only does an audio podcast, all you need is an RSS feed and they can upload anywhere, so it's not as difficult. Like, I know the legalities of stuff, but
Dude, people used to drop shit into SoundCloud all the time.
they still do.
Well, and that's the whole thing, is like, there's so many things like that. Like, I understand the point where like artists want to be paid because they have a lot of management that want to be paid, or people who make their own original music and they want to be paid for stuff like that. But it's just like, I remember when Apple Music originally came out, and then it was like they delayed it because Taylor Swift was like,
Oh, yeah.
back the fuck off. And I was like, you know what? I honestly get that. Like, I was just like, I never thought of that perspective or that side. And she's so heavily involved in her stuff, which I found it was funny, because it was like the people who actually wrote their music were mad, and everybody else who just like sings and gets all the rest of the stuff given to them by like their management team or their record label, like wasn't really saying anything.
Oh, yeah, because I don't think they, like, owned it.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that annoys me is when they're exclusive to a specific music app. So, like, the album will only release on Apple, or the album will only release on Spotify, but only Spotify Premium, or Amazon Music, but only Amazon Music Unlimited. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, then you have to wait for whatever for this. I'm like, meanwhile, in the 90s, I would just go to A&B Sound or HMV or Walmart and buy the fucking CD.
And, like, I'm happy to go to the store and buy it.
I'm totally, like, that's the whole thing, is I'm totally fine with that. And I understand then it comes back to, like, the clutter aspect and stuff. But I feel like they stopped accommodating for organization and display of things and making things usable. Like, they could have made cases thinner. They could have done so many things. But also, the huge selling point for a CD when CDs first came out versus, like, a cassette was the fact that it was durable. Like, you could run over the CD and it would still work. Like, they would have commercials where they would show people, like, running over them and they would still work.
It also came usually with a poster.
Oh, kind of like, you'd open it up and all the lyrics would be in there with, like, the poster on the opposite side. Like, that was the best.
And, like, so me and my friend's husband, well, we're all friends, but my friend's husband, we were talking about road trips, and our family was big into, like, the portable DVD players.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard the first, like, beat drop of the Corner Gas, and I turned around and I went, is it road trip time? And he looks at me and he goes, you listen to Corner Gas on road trips? And, like, something nostalgic. I didn't have to wait for anything. I put the DVD in. It didn't have to give me the Circle of Doom for 24 years. But yeah, that, like, road trip vibe, like, you knew it was serious when it was like, and it would be like, okay, Sarah, you get to choose a movie. Okay, our sister would choose a movie. brother would choose a movie.
Yeah.
And everybody got to choose one. And then usually, if you were good, you got to choose what soundtrack you were wanting.
Oh, yeah.
In the car. I personally,
or you make a mix CD.
My personal was Tarzan or Hercules or Cars. That was before 2010 when Tangled came out. But I totally would have done Tangled.
Also, my personal favorite, which I understand there's some reasons for some of these things, but like cutting out parts of movies and TV shows on platforms because they're digital.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch.
They'll like cut things out because they like, I know there's like safety or like you get the warnings because like someone's smoking and something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm always just like, I'd watch something and then you almost feel like you have deja vu. You're like, did I just never pay attention to this movie?
They do it all the time. And then she doesn't climb in the lawn in a dryer. She climbs into a pizza box. I'm like, why is there a pizza box in the laundry store?
I know, it's like a pizza box that's open in front of a shelving unit that's next to it's weird. Like there's so many things like that. And I'm just like, what? Like, I remember like how exciting it was to get like, I think my favorite book series when I was a kid, whether it was a chapter book or a book, was like Bernstein Bears.
Yes.
And then getting like a Bernstein Bears book, like we were going through my daughter's stuff. She's obviously reading like some books that are like older than that, which those books have a lot of fucking words.
Bernstein Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were going through stuff and I was like, oh yeah, here's this other stuff in the bin that's on your bookshelf. And she's just like, oh yeah, I don't really like that Bernstein Bears book. Oh, but I like this one. And I was like, oh, can we keep junk food? It's like my favorite one. And she's like, oh yeah, sure, that's totally fine. Or collecting the golden Disney books.
Yeah.
Because like, so those were originally put out to like, and they were like 50 cents. Like they would be super low cost to help kids who were unable to like go to a library or could afford books. So the books became affordable, like literature became affordable. That's why sometimes you'll see stuff and be like, that wasn't a Disney movie. No, it was produced by that so that way kids had more access to like literature. Just like in the States, and I think sometimes in Canada, you can enroll in that Dolly Parton thing where she like sends a book.
Yeah.
Which I think is super cute. Like there's a lot of people who are still pushing that narrative of like physical books. And I try so hard with physical books. I don't know if it's how everything shifted and changed or if it was the fact that how hard I hit my head in a car accident.
I think books too, like I will only buy books with certain fonts because certain fonts make my head hurt.
Yeah, so the dyslexic font is like a big thing now.
Yeah.
And there's this girl who came up, I don't know if you sent me the TikTok or if I found it myself. There's this girl who came up who makes like you said, it could be the fonts, it could be the paper. That was the other thing that the girl said is she made the paper beige. Do you remember when you were setting the stuff in Google Docs for when we were writing the blog? And I was like, can we make it like a light gray or like a beigey color? I just hate white.
And that's the only reason why I could do like online books, and that's why I have my iPad mini is because I can change the color.
Yeah.
I have such an issue like when reading on a tablet, the strain. So like when I'm reading a book, I read really fast.
Yeah.
So my brain takes out all those filler words that the A is and just goes through.
Yeah.
When I'm reading on a tablet, sometimes it doesn't, like, it vibrates on the tablet, so I can't read it fast enough.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing is when it comes to, unless it's like I'm reading like some form of like short form article or like a recipe or something, I could read it on my phone or on like an iPad. I can read books like very well on like a Kindle because it does have that like paper look to it. Mm-hmm. I felt like that helped. Also, it's not shiny. I'm a big fan of like a matte.
Oh, like
screen,
a paper
like a paper like screen. So I think that's like a big thing just because I've almost found it's like, again, it's less distracting. I know it's an extra device, but I like bought mine off of Facebook Marketplace. I paid like $80 like 6-7 years ago. And it's still, my whole thing with those though is they still work.
What bugs me is when like, oh, it's an extra device.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's an extra device, but like, say you were reading right now.
Yeah.
Pick up your phone like you're reading. Yeah.
What? Like
like you're reading.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah, I found this cool thing on Pinterest. Hey, Sarah, I found this cool thing on TikTok.
I know.
Hey, Sarah.
It's like all day I have like stuff like this, or it's like, here's the temperature, or like that random reminder I got, which is great. These reminder text messages are not an issue for me, but it's, it's like we were so convinced that having all these extra devices and having everything all in one is like the best idea ever. But literally it just makes it like a main hub where you can't even like turn off your brain.
Like, I want to get an MP3 player to listen to with
It's still on my thing. Also, it's still on. I was like, it's on my Amazon list. That one that you got for our brother.
Yeah.
What bothers me though is it's not like you could like physically download songs without having a subscription that stay on it.
Well, the nice thing though is like, so I have Spotify Family for pretty much the whole family.
Yeah.
And it's $16.99 a month. And you can download, like, the MP3 player I got, you download everything and it's connected to your account. So it downloads onto the device, which is great. I feel like because it's connected to an account, it's okay. And that I feel like is okay because I'm paying for it. But I can literally, I can listen to anything. I don't have to, like, subscribe to subscribe to subscribe.
Yeah.
To then subscribe to then get one song.
That's the whole thing is like, I have Apple One. And then I share that with Eve because she shares her Spotify thing with us. And what drives me nuts about Apple One is it's like you can pay individually for services. You're dumb if you want anything if you want anything more than 2 of the things that they have. And yeah, you can write out those like free things when you get a new Apple device where you get like free Apple TV Plus. But then there'll be things like I was talking to my husband about the fact that you can read news articles, but a lot of them make you have a subscription now.
Yeah.
Or like I miss just like getting a magazine and actually like wanting to read it.
I miss when I could, like, when Pinterest, I could open it. And if I typed in chocolate chip cookie recipe, very generic, I would click enter. And you know what I saw? Chocolate chip cookie recipes.
Oh, when I'm looking at stuff, unless you list the fucking ingredients and all the shit directly in the pin where I don't have to click through a link, I won't click on your link.
It is almost faster for me to go through Google and click the top one.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because then you have to do like the roundabout way.
Yeah.
Of like trying to find a recipe. I see a lot of people now doing like fun recipe books of like making them super creative. Which one day I will maybe put together because when you all move out and you're like, Sarah loves to do Eve,
especially around Christmas. I really want
Eve, where's the ginger snap recipe?
That's always the sugar cookie recipe. So I said the picture though now.
Or Eve, where's the lifesaver recipe? No, you don't get that.
What? I know. I love when I just get shut down. No, you don't get that.
It is every year I get the same I don't even take new pictures. I have them saved to my screenshots. I just resend them to you.
Oh, no. I've saved them sometimes because what I do is like I'll delete my messages after a while, especially if your phone gets full. And then I was just like, I better just save this here. So I have like an album under my photos that says recipes.
And so like I'll send the tour. Lifesavers was no. You can eat it when you're here.
I was like, well, that was rude.
But it's just like it's no longer like, oh, I'm taking a picture of the recipe card.
Yeah.
Like our mom was talking about when she had her bridal shower back in 1984.
Oh, yes.
And like there was like people would bring recipes or they'd bring like dishcloths or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sounds lovely. Like
hope chest.
Don't get me started on the hope chest. But you could like get those different recipes and like exchange them. It was so nice. Like our neighbor, we got the recipe that she made for us one time. It was lovely. I was like, oh, this is so great.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. When you would go to bridal showers and they would have the recipe in front of the item, it was really great for when you had allergies.
Oh, see, I'm the person who puts the craft paper on the table. Like we did like a cookie box around the holidays. I put down like brown paper. I listed it and I literally wrote like dairy-free, gluten-free, nut-free. Yeah. If allergic to nuts, nuts go here. Not nuts go here.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's a great thing too. Or like copying them and you can just like pick them up. Or even just like making one and sending a QR code.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is it's especially when it comes to like recipes. Like it was so funny. I looked at my friend. I'm like, oh yeah, you can always like Google them. And so many times she comes and knocks on the door and she's like, can I use your printer? I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's like printing off something like that. And I think that's such like a rare thing now. Like we used to print everything off like all the time.
think also because recipe cards now are so ridiculously expensive.
Oh, they are ridiculously expensive. Like, our mom got me one of the ones where you can slide it like in and out. And she's like, I looked everywhere and I bought that stuff. Holy shit. It's like you're investing in like a professional, like you're setting up a professional cookbook.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you can use index cards, which a lot of people use, but like, I write really big. So she got me these ones and everything. And I know that we could probably find plain ones, but she's like, I was just trying to find like, we went to Costco one time and you could get like a double pack of these like super cute looking ones. And I had one, which unfortunately it was like pleather and it got really hot where we live and I had it leaning against the wall.
Oh, and it melted.
Oh, it stuck straight to the wall.
Oh.
It was bad. And then I had to like kind of scrape the stuff off. But like, again, when it comes to recipes, like, yeah, you can look up other stuff, which is great, especially if you find out you have an allergy and you're looking for other things, but you almost like keep pinning or saving them and then you never actually make them.
What I find too is like, maybe we'll talk in an episode later about like meal planning and stuff. When I'm meal planning, if I like, sometimes I don't have music in and like the screen will just like randomly turn off and then you have to like lock it and then you're trying to find it and then you get lost and you can't find the recipe again.
Yeah.
But at least if it's like, okay, I really like this recipe, I'm going to print it off. And like, I know it takes more effort to like write it out and stuff, but there's something like so nice of like looking at a mom and you're like, hey mom, like, do you know where the banana bread recipe is? And she's like, well,
it's in the box.
It's in the box or it's in the binder.
Just ergo to that. So I had to go save our cousin because she was broken down on the side of the road.
Yes.
Not on the side of the road, in the storage unit because she was about to go camping and their truck like wouldn't start. And I looked at her and I was like, oh yeah, I keep trying to make like granola bars because they all taste like crap now in the stores. I'm not like crunchy, but like
I'm not crunchy. I just don't want my daughter.
Like, everything tastes the same or it tastes like nothing. So I was like, oh, I'll make them. And I'm like, the only binder I can make work is like marshmallows. And as I'm about to say, your mom used to make me the best granola bars when I would stay at her house. And she goes, I have my mom's granola bar recipe. Do you want it? Okay, so when you go into my house, because I'm looking after her plants, when you go into my house, go to my oven and then go inside. Oh, you know the book, the beige one with the rooster on it? And I was like, yes, like this. And she's like, oh yeah, just like take a picture of it or whatever. If there's a spare card, like write it down. And I was like, why did I never think to message her and be like, oh my God, those granola bars that Auntie used to make? I really want to know what it is.
And it's also, then you show appreciation of like, hey, I remember when our aunt made these.
Oh yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, well, I want to make granola bars. Well, like our aunt made really good, but I'm going to scour the internet and hope that the internet finds me something better. And then I'm going to make really sucky granola bars 4 or 5 times and then finally be like, can I have the recipe?
Well, like when it comes to all those things, whether it's like a TV subscription, movie subscription, whether it's like digital books or finding things a lot that are all internet based, it all comes down to exhaustion. Like it comes to the point where sometimes you find that thing that you need and you've wasted so much time and there's so much exhaustion behind the thinking of the specific keyword or like watching a bunch of videos or, you know, like you said, going through the perpetual like click here, jump to recipe. Here's the lifelong story about my grandmother. Here's like all this other stuff.
Click 3 more times just to try to print the recipe because you can't print it off the browser.
Oh yeah. Oh, fuck, that happens to me all the time. Is when it comes all down to it, is it really more convenient?
Just print it, then you print it off and then it's in a binder and then I know people will be like, oh, well, like I will literally take a picture of it. Like those spiral binders, the spiral like cookbooks. Oh my God. It's like New Western. I literally had a conversation with my friend about like Lifesaver.
Yeah.
And she was like, hold up. Is it a part of this cookbook?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Company's coming? Is that it?
Country comfort. Comfort country. I don't know. There's multiples of them. If I remember it, I'll send the link to Sarah. It's like $50 now. I pulled out that recipe.
Oh, they are all over the thrifty stores.
I sent her the recipe and she goes, that's the recipe my mom and I used to make. And I was like, see, and she goes, I have tried to find that recipe everywhere.
Because you didn't know the name of it. Well, I thought it was called Lifesaver. But that's the whole thing. What's the number one thing that you miss? Not even just being like nostalgic, but like what's the number one thing that you miss now that everything is like so heavily available? Do you miss like I said, going to the store to buy a CD or like anticipating the new music video and watching? I used to watch the Chevy Top 20 all the time on CMT.
Yeah.
And being able to watch all those like fun music videos. People still put out music videos, just to let you know. I highly, highly suggest Ed Sheeran's newest one. Maybe Left My Ass Off. But like all those things, like there was so much anticipation and now everything is just like there or you have to pay for it. It's either free and heavily available and everything's everywhere and you get it all, or you have to subscribe to something and it's always $10 to $20.
And even from the beginning, like from our first podcast episode, I've always said, how cool would it be if we had a vinyl of our first episode?
Yeah.
Would I ever listen to it? No. But I would just keep it wrapped up. And always know that we're on all TikTok social media platforms. You can also email us.
Yeah.
Or message us on anything. We're very on it about these things. We try our best. Unless you're that random person who keeps on asking if you're talking to the owner of the store.
Yeah. Can you please stop?
Burnt Out Perfectionist doesn't sell products.
We don't sell products, and overwhelm the label is fine. Thank you so much.
And on that note, always stay warped and twisted as ever. Peace.
Laughter, wisdom, and a little fun. We've got something for everyone.